Hi, my name's Jenny, and I'm standing here just thinking about the corruption. Okay, they try to pass off as normal when they're hurting people in general in the world, and how that narrative tends to spread throughout the world and the internet with no problem. And then when someone says something about it, all of a sudden you're the number one target. They had no problem before when they could get anything that they wanted from you and were exploiting you literally every single moment of the day, every night and day, watching you sleep, waking you up every 10 minutes, all the psychological torture and everything like that. But as soon as they realize that you're not going to go along, or they know they're at the end of not being able to push you into their narrative, and I'm talking extreme left, extreme right, I'm talking cults, including some religious organizations and things like that, all wrapped together. As soon as they realize that you're an independent thinker, all of a sudden you become enemy number one because they're so used to pushing people into a false narrative to get them to do what they want so they can continue on with their crimes. Okay, that somehow advocating for your own safety and that of your children has become the crime. So I would love for anybody to actually have a conversation with me with some context because I simply cannot buy into that nonsense. All right? I'm trying to be a reasonable person and bring reason to people that are completely unreasonable because they thought so hardcore that I was just going to be this pushover, kick in the face kind of person. She'll do whatever we want. Don't worry. And it's just, it really is a slap in the face. And in the end, I mean, I'm going to be the best version of myself, anyways, regardless of what anybody's going to say or try to do to me, because that's just who I am. But in the end, I would never collude or concede or bow down to corruption because it makes it easier for the corrupt people to be corrupt. That is not ever going to happen. And I do not feel bad for that in any way, shape, or form because I'm a good person and I don't roll around trying to hurt people. It doesn't matter what you say in your false narratives because they're not going to hold water. All right. And I'm really, 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 really disappointed with so many things on so many levels, but mostly for the way that people have treated me like there's something wrong with me for doing this very same thing that anybody else would do if they were trying to be driven crazy, okay? If their kids and them were targeted, okay? And weren't afraid to stand up. Everybody's afraid, so they just look the other way and do what everybody says because it's easier. But in the end, none of it's going to hold water. So I'm really torn. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. I'm hurt mostly that I've asked consistently for valid help. And, you know, it never comes. They push you all the way down to the bottom because they need you down there when you're actually where you're supposed to be. They get mad when you're where you're supposed to be because they can't control the narrative. And they're still trying to keep you down and pin you with all the illegal money they made off your back and all of these things. And I'm just like, my question for all of you is why? Okay, so feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below, which, hopefully you will. I'm not counting on it, but yeah, I would really like to know why. Because I never did anything to anybody but try to move forward and be the best version of myself. I had no idea, okay, this kind of nonsense was something that I was going to have to live through for literally nothing other than the fact that people don't like me because I have a brain in my head. It is. So, anyways, if anybody's trying to tell you that you're not good enough and they want you to do stuff that you don't believe in, don't do it. because all it's going to do is hurt you. And yeah, there's a good chance that they might turn around and try to intimidate you and keep trying to press you into place. But why would you do anything if you didn't agree with it in your head? Because you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. All right? And the people that are telling you that you're not worth anything are telling that to themselves and self projecting it onto you. And that's how it always is. So I just needed to voice that because I've been frustrated about it all day long, especially when I've made all of these people so much money and given them so much, attention and parts of me. And then they tell you, oh, you're loitering twice today. I got that. And I'm like, oh, really? Then maybe I'll send you an invoice for all of the traffic you stole from me in my life, among other things, I'm sure. Because when you're a good person, when you're not afraid to stand up for what's reasonable and right and advocate, I mean, they do it to literally every single one of us. Call us crazy, all of these things, start talking false narratives. And there's got to be some place for the frustration to go when you're getting actively abused 24/7. Instead of just, oh, that's not really happening. Yeah, it is. So have a good night. My name's Jenny. I was here with the real talk. I'm sure they're going to hold it against me like they hold everything else against me, but I'm not afraid or ashamed to be who I am because I was born this way. All right? And people that are taught to be codependent and then they finally find their voice, they realize they should have used their voice all along because they wouldn't have gotten in half the positions in life and the bad mistakes that they should have made in the first place. Shouldn't have made in the first place. So, and that's what, narcissistic abuse and people trying to push you into situations that you don't really agree with in your gut, but go along with anyways to make other people comfortable will get you a whole lot of nothing. So if you're going to get a whole lot of nothing, you might as well stand up for yourself. So at least you walk away with your soul intact, all right, in control of your own ideas and your own mind without someone telling you that you're wrong and you've got to fit into this box, this box, this box that was never going to hold you in the first place. All right, have a good night.